welcome to another day of Closed on Monday. It's your guy Mon Skelton, a Billionaire Mon. For the ones that don't know me now, you do. Let's get into this podcast. I had a scripted podcast written up for you guys at first. Decided not to run it. I didn't sound too good. Didn't sound like me. I don't want to sound too robotic. Maybe you will get that in the future, but not right now. I want to just come on here and just talk to you guys about getting started. Getting started with the year. Coming up with a small plan, a few steps that you can take advantage of and just move forward towards your goal, your dream, or your aspiration, man. Whatever you got going on. I want to give you a backstory on what I used to do when I got started with a new business, a new idea, or a new thing. Sometimes I gave too much effort on how it looks, on making it look real good and making it pretty for no reason before getting started. I can tell you now that was the biggest downfall I ever had because it took me way too long to get started. Sometimes when you're doing stuff like that, not just everybody, but sometimes some people, when you do stuff like that, you set it up for a win or whatever, and you're trying to make it look good. First impression is the best impression. I understand that, but you got to realize your competition ain't waiting. Your competition, they gonna go out there half, they gonna look half you know what I mean, half started or whatnot, but at least they started. People know they exist. You don't even exist yet. You only person know that you exist is you. Sometimes you might have shared that with a few friends, a few family members or whatnot, and they might know that you got started, but guess what? Your competition thriving, they growing every week, they upgrading every week. You can't compete with that, man. They putting time in while you ain't. But remember this though, man. I mean, I understand you gotta make it look good. Don't come out there half stepping, but come out there. You can have half the product already ready. But guess what? You pushing. They see your effort. They see your customer service. It's so many other attributes that you can add to your product to make it looks good, to make it feel good, make people feel like, oh, they gonna come back. They see your growth. As long as people see your growth, you're good. You ain't got nothing to worry about. But I'm gonna give you a few steps that I can come up with on the top of my head, just being honest with you, that would have curved me to become a better person, a better entrepreneur, a better whatever. Just being real with you. The first thing is to set a goal, and put an end date on it. First thing I should have done is set a goal and put an end date on it. Because me not starting kind of had me in a limbo position where, whenever I start, that's when I start. I got to put an end date. I got to put on a start date. And then I give myself 10, 15 days or 2-3 months to get that business up and running. By that time, you give yourself time to do what you need to do. But guess what? We're going to launch regardless. We're going to launch this business regardless. And I know from just giving that end date, you got to put time in between that. So step 2, giving time in between that. Whether it's on a monthly basis, weekly basis, or daily basis, you got to give yourself some time, some effort in between those things to get it done. So I understand that now. I didn't understand that back then. I used to just jump out the head first. When I started, right, I was procrastinating. And then once I removed procrastination, I just started jumping out there. Like, let me go and get started. Cause I don't know who all doing it. Let me be the first one, second one to get onto it. I started doing that. That's not a bad thing completely, but it's like, dang, like really, I had to put myself out there a lot of times and just to get the ball rolling. But I'm so glad I have came to a position now. I can sit down, I can plan, I can strategize how I really want to get it done. So it's making me more like acceptable to everything I'm doing. Like even with business, even with work, even with working out, even with eating, all that stuff come with a plan. Now I know if I'm gonna do something for a long period of time, I need to at least have a little plan in place to put together for me to understand. Okay, I'm here for the long haul. I'm here to I want to finish this. Whatever plan I get started on, I want to finish the plan. I want to finish the goal. I know what I'm saying. I got to get that. So in order for me to do that, I got to have a plan. The times I didn't have a plan, man, I get out there. I don't know. I quit any day now. I ain't never quit, but it's like it might stop. Like me, like the business might slow down for me. Now I gotta pivot. Versus, oh, when the business slow down, this is my counter. Like you gotta have a counter for stuff like that. But now I understand that, man. But back then I didn't. So step three would be to create something on a daily, weekly basis. Create action steps on a daily or weekly basis leading up to the monthly. So you have all your actions. You're doing something there every day. You might not be doing it every day. You might be doing it 3 to 5 times a week. But guess what? You can count that goal for the week. And then you can go back and reflect. Then you can count that goal for the month. So you have those weeks lined up to that month, those months lined up into that year. And just to give it a good example, I'm going to use fitness. If you want to lose 50 pounds, it's a great example of a strategic plan. You say you just started 2025 January. You want to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year. You got to break that down. How you going to do that? So you got to ask yourself, how much time you going to put into losing those 50 pounds? You ain't going to lose it in a month. And you can now. You know, I know some things you can do to lose it in a month, but you ain't going to lose it in a month. And you ain't nobody that dedicated. Ain't nobody got their mind. You got to have your mind on a whole nother level to drop that 50 in 1 month. But let's just be for real. So 50 pounds by the end of the year, you set up a plan. Your plan is to lose 4 to 5 pounds a month. How you plan on doing that? Losing 1 pound per week, 1 to 1.5, maybe even 2 pounds per week. How you plan on doing that? Your daily actions. You going to the gym every day. You eating right. You eating more. You eating healthy. So once you start eating healthy, start eating better, start eating cleaner, and then you start working out on the dailies, you might be doing, again, I said you might not do this every day. 3 to 5 times a week, you might be working out. But guess what? That end goal for that week is to lose 1 pound. A consistent 1 pound. Because you might lose a pound a day, gain it back the next day. But if you can lose that 1 pound, maybe 2 the next day, or maybe half a pound the next day, and then whatever you eat, consume back, you might gain half of it back. You might gain 7/8 of it back. You know what I'm saying? It happens. I'm a fitness dude, so I know how it works. I lose 5 pounds in one day and gain it back the same day because I might have went empty all day. Now I'm finna eat a big meal. But, you know, I'm learning how not to do that anymore. But on a serious tip, so you losing those pounds, 1 pound a week, few pounds a month, 4 to 5 pounds a month. And then at the end of the year, you got your 50. You earned it. You earned those 50 pounds. You lost 50 pounds in 1 year. And some people keep going, man. They'll do it in another year. You know what I'm saying? They'll be aiming for 100 pounds within a year and a half. And once the momentum gets started, you might lose 20. For real, just being real with you. 10, 20 in the first month. Because you got your momentum. Then you're going to slow down. You're going to plateau. That's when you got to stick with the script. Stick to the script. You losing a pound a week. You might not be losing a pound every week now. Now you're losing half a pound. Now you lose, you know what I'm saying? So you got to stick to the script because it might slow down. It might either slow down or speed up for you. But that's pretty much it, man. Just keeping it simple. Weight loss was the first thing that came to my head. That was probably the easiest example I can give you besides business. A lot of people, they on the business side, business savvy. You got to do the exact same thing. Whether you might not be working out, but you're working on your business. You might not be eating right, but you doing something productive for your business. You know what I'm saying? You producing for your business. So those are things and those are terms you got to kind of like interchange with business, fitness and business, life and business, life and fitness. All that stuff go hands in hand. The plan is the plan. Don't nothing really change, man. That's all I got for you guys. I want to give you something cool, short, sweet, and simple this week and to keep it going, man. We out it, man. Too easy.